What's going on, New York fans? Welcome back to the G-Man Command Post. I'm your host, Gene Sannon, and yeah, we got to talk about that mess in New Orleans. But before that, do me a favor, like, follow, and share so we can grow this community into a bigger audience. We're trying to hit 15 subscribers, hopefully 20. We'll start trying to give some giveaways. All right, let's get into it. So here's a quick breakdown before I lose my voice over this game. Final score, Saints 26, Giants 14. The Giants committed 5 consecutive turnovers. 5 straight possessions, 5 turnovers. The last team that did something like that was the Jets. The freaking Jets. We're making history, but the worst type of history. Moving on. Jackson Dart, 26 for 40, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 55 yards on the ground. Not terrible on paper, but the turnovers told the story by itself. Cam Scatterbull. God, I love you, kid, but you're killing me, Smalls. 15 carries, 59 yards, 6 catches for 45. But the red zone fumble? Moving on. Theo Johnson and Daniel Bellinger were the only bright spot of this game. Darius Slayton had 2 drops. One on a flea flicker. Executed perfectly by Jackson Dart. Dropped right on your hands. No, I think he had to come back to that play to make that catch. That's still not that's not an excuse, man. The ball still slapped you right in the hands. You gotta make that play for your quarterback. He's a young quarterback, man, and you're literally the only person that he has right now. Like, the rest of this offense, garbage. But moving on. All right, the defense, 0 sacks, 87-yard bomb from Spencer Rattler to Rashid Shaheed. 5 straight turnovers, 0 pressures, and a whole lot of missed opportunities. On the Saints side, Spencer Rattler, 20 for 30, a passing touchdown, and 225 yards total. Longest play was an 87-yard touchdown pass to, like I said before, Rashid Shaheed. And the last time that they did that was when Drew Brees was playing, matching the longest play. All right, they had 5 turnovers and total yards of 332 yards, with 224 passing and 88 rushing. They didn't do anything. The Giants just bleh all over themselves. They gave the game away. Look, I'm gonna be real. You can't win a football game by turning the ball over 5 consecutive times. You just can't. That's not bad luck. That's a collapse. That's a coaching, execution, and focus collapse. All of it. Jackson Dart, I love the upside. You've got to protect the football, man. You're driving down, and you got to remember to secure that ball. 2 interceptions, 3 total turnovers throughout the game. That was downright frustrating, man. You know, last week we were giving you praise, yelling, "Oh yeah, you're the future," But this week you just, you just gave the ball away. And it's so frustrating, seeing all of that. Cam Scatterbull, he's a good young player, but you just hate rookies, and this is the reason why you hate rookies, because they make rookie mistakes. It's frustrating because, man, he's a good young athlete, but he's making those rookie mistakes, turning that ball over right there. That is critical for your team, man. You gotta secure that ball. Like I imagine that this week they're gonna be working on, you know, like ball security. Otherwise, like what are you doing? You know, like Darius Slayton, like catch the ball, bro. Like what are you doing? Like, your young quarterback needs you to make that play. Like, on a flea flicker, you drop it. They send the ball deep to you, you drop it. Like, you got to do something. You got to give me something. Like, you're literally like the oldest tenured player of this team. You got to be leading by example. We got a third round dude who's Jalen Hyatt. He's not producing. He's not doing anything. So it's really all up to you right now. You know, we're elevating, you know, younger players from the practice squad, getting them over here to play, but you know, like they're not ready to play. You've been here, we re-signed you for a reason. Like, how is it that you're letting balls hit you right in your hands, in your palm, and dropping it? That's unacceptable. All right? Now, defensively, 0 sacks. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. That's the Giants' front. How do you get 0 sacks? How? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like that is absolutely ridiculous. Giving up like an 87-yard bomb to a quarterback that talks smack right before this game. Literally, he's like, yeah, their front seven is you know, like, is one of the best, but schematically, we have some things we can take advantage of in the back. And then he goes out and hits you with an 87-yard bomb. That's embarrassing. I'm blaming Schoen. I don't care to get his name right. I'm blaming the head coach. I'm blaming the offensive coordinator. Like, I'm blaming all of you. By the end of it, all of y'all need to leave. I can't watch this no more. As a Giants fan, I am hurting, okay? Because we've been on the low for the longest. This used to be a franchise that we could actually be proud of. Like, this jersey used to mean something. Garbage right now. I can't watch this no more. I'm about to become an IBO. An individual. I'm about to be an IBO, okay? I really am, because I can't do this no more. I can't. The Giants is pissing me off, man. Like, you expect me to show up each and every single week. You expect me to cheer for you. You expect me to go to your games. But then the product that you're putting out on the field, I'm waiting for the next plane to start flying over. Fire John Mara, fire the whole the whole offense, defense, fire everybody. I'm waiting for it because it's gonna happen again. We're 1-4 when we could have easily been like 3-1. We could have. Just win the games that you're meant to. Right now we should have been 2-2. We're 1-4. And then leading up to this week, here's what I was sitting there thinking. Why exactly is it that we were not trying to, you know, like, sign any additional wide receivers? All right, you have a rookie quarterback. This is your franchise quarterback. This is the guy that you are depending on. Why aren't you going out there and trying to get a Chris Olave that we just seen, a Shaheed Rashid? Why aren't we trying to trade for these guys? Now, I wonder, is it because that, you know, they're about to get fired and hire the headquarters? They know about that, right? They know that they're about to get fired. So they're not allowing them to touch any of the draft capitals that they have so far. They're not allowed to touch any of it. That's what I'm suspecting. They're not allowed to touch any of it. Because of that, they can't use it to, you know, like, to wheel and deal. Bringing in any of these guys is going to take some draft capital. They're probably not allowed to touch that draft capital because that's going to be safe for the new regime that's going to be coming very, very soon. That's what I'm guessing. I'm sorry, but this team looked flat. All right, I thought that last week's win meant something, but you can't. You can't play like that. All right. The Saints smelled blood and they came out to get it. 5 straight turnovers? That's not something that just happened. That's your offensive coordinator, that's your defensive coordinator, that's your head coach. That's all 3 of them throwing up on themselves. That's a systematic failure, honestly. So, New York fans, where do we even go from here? The Giants are 1-4. They should have been 2-3, but they had to go ahead and puke on themselves. Next up is the Eagles, which we have 2 out of the next 3 weeks. I think that we got to focus on Jackson Dart's development. I think we need to do a better job of protecting him. Jermaine Illuminor was not good enough this week. We gotta keep looking at Jackson Dart and make sure that he's ready to succeed, even if we gotta start looking at the next head coach. Speaking of the next head coach, I've kind of been looking at who we'd possibly be getting for our next coach, because that's kind of where I feel like it's heading. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but the Joe Schoen, Shane Bowen, and they just have not been good enough. Bottom line, the season may fail, but the future can still be saved. We should just be focusing on developing our young quarterback, protecting him, and doing all we can to make sure that his success is the New York Giants' success. As always, like, follow, and subscribe. We're trying to hit 15 subscribers by the end of this month. If we hit 20, we'll start doing some giveaways. Thanks for listening to the G-Man Command Post. Tune in next week.